Hey Grownups, it's that time of year again. We are sipping hot cocoa, gazing at the twinkly lights, and cozying up with a good Girl Tales story. This year, why not give a gift that puts the kids, our Tailblazers, at the center of that story? You can choose from our selection of personalized audio tales at the Girl Tales shop at girltalespodcast.com/shop. Your Tailblazers will lead the adventure in stories like the dinosaur fossil, where they travel back to prehistoric times, and Underworld Rescue, where they work with Greek gods and goddesses to bring stories back to the world. Plus, don't miss our wintry favorites like The Missing Mitten, A Freshwater Snow Day, and much more. We will sprinkle in your child's name and special details, making them the star of the story. Oh, and all of Girl Tales Patreon members receive a 10% discount. Sign up at patreon.com/girltales to get your promo code today. Make this holiday season unforgettable. Head over to girltalespodcast.com/shop to order your personalized tale now. Hurry, this offer ends on December 18th. Hey Tailblazers, I'm Rebecca Cunningham, and this is Girl Tales, a kids podcast packed with girl power and stories where every child's voice matters. Before we get started, I'd like to wish a very happy birthday to Brooklyn from Vancouver Island. Grownups, Girl Tales is brought to you by families like yours. If you would like to hear your child's name at the top of our next episode, or if you would like me to wish them a happy birthday, head to patreon.com/girltales and join a team today. And Grownups, it's that time of year again. We are selling our personalized stories for the holidays. Cozy up with Girl Tales this holiday season by gifting your Tailblazers a personalized audio adventure where they are the hero. Choose from exciting tales like the dinosaur fossil, or Underworld Rescue, or some of our wintry favorites, like A Snow Day in Freshwater, or the best holiday photo ever. Visit girltalespodcast.com/shop to order your custom story by December 18th. That's girltalespodcast.com/shop. Now on to our episode. This is the next part in our She is Fierce series, The Secret Princesses. Enjoy! I'd like to tell you about a friend of mine.
Good morning, Miss Rebecca.
Oh, it's...
Rightio, Miss Rebecca. It's me, Ishbel Birtwhistle, plumber extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire, right. I guess Pippa called you?
She did. Something about a slow drain in the bathroom sink. Don't worry, I've brought all my tools. Oops.
Well, I'll let you get to it, Ishbel. See you in a little while.
Toodle pip. Now let's see. What's this? Smickle, trickle, bickledy-doo. Rebecca's left the recorder going. Now how do I... maybe this wire? Or not. Well, if it's recording, I suppose I might as well tell a story. This is a story my uncle told me about a secret princess, another secret princess, and a bear. Long, long ago, in the beautiful countryside of the small kingdom of Bohemia, there lived a young shepherdess called Perdita. She was very good at looking after her sheep, and she loved her life in the fields and mountains. She lived with her adoptive parents, a pair of sheep farmers who brought her up. You see, Perdita was found all alone late one evening in a field not far from the shepherd's cottage. How did she get there? I'll tell you, hold your horses. You see, Perdita was actually a princess. A thief stole baby Perdita from her mother, the Queen of Sicily, when she was a baby. The thief was a real scoundrel. He thought the queen would offer a rich reward for returning Princess Perdita to her mother, so he took baby Perdita, wrapped her in a red and gold Sicilian flag, placed her in her basket, which had her name inscribed on it, and sailed with her across the sea to Bohemia. But when he landed in Bohemia, before he could put his reward plan into action, he got eaten by a bear. I promise that's the last time anyone gets eaten in this story. That rascal bear didn't spot sweet baby Perdita, the secret princess stolen away from her queenly mum. Or maybe he was too full from eating that criminal kidnapper. But in any case, Perdita was left in the field to be discovered by kindly sheep farmers. 16 years later, she grew up to be one of the kindest, most artistic and athletic shepherdesses in the whole of Bohemia. She could run a mile to find a stray sheep, carry a hurt sheep over her shoulder, and she shared her lunches with any traveller in need. That's how she met Flora. I promised you 2 secret princesses, didn't I? Flora was the daughter of the King of Bohemia. She was a princess and her father was very strict. The king told Flora that princesses had to stay inside their castles, but she loved having adventures, so she often travelled the countryside in disguise. Flora would dress up as a miller or a washerwoman or a brewer, and she would meet the real people of Bohemia. Her father, the king, had no idea about Flora's secret trips. On one adventure, dressed as a barber surgeon, which is a person who is great at cutting hair and does minor surgeries, Flora saw Perdita running with a sheep held across her shoulders. She was impressed.
How did you get so strong?
Asked Flora.
It might be because I eat a lot of sheep cheese,
Perdita said.
Want some? Sure.
Perdita pulled some sheep cheese out of her pocket and Flora tried it. The 2 girls got to talking, and pretty soon they were laughing and joking together. Perdita and Flora became friends. Flora would come in a new disguise every day to spend time with Perdita. Perdita didn't know why her friend always came in disguises. She wondered if she was a fairy. It didn't matter too much to Perdita why Flora was in disguise, because Perdita could always tell it was Flora. Flora would flash a big, toothy grin every time she came to visit. They both looked forward to laughing together out in the fields, surrounded by sheep. In Perdita's village, the people celebrated when they finished harvesting their crops with a big party called the Harvest Festival. When the Harvest Festival came around that autumn, Flora and Perdita were best friends. They were practically inseparable. Perdita invited Flora to the festival, and they went together with Perdita's adoptive parents. Meanwhile, in Flora's father's castle.
Flora! Where is that girl? You, servant, bring me my daughter, the princess.
I beg your pardon, your majesty. I do not know where she is.
Ugh, useless. Search high and low. She cannot leave the castle. She must be here somewhere.
Your Majesty, we found these disguises in Princess Flora's bedroom.
What? Disguises? So she is sneaking out of the castle to have adventures, is she? I will find her. Gather my knights.
The Harvest Festival was held in the village square. Everyone was singing and dancing and eating. The farmers brought delicious foods like apple pie, roasted chestnuts, and mushroom pasties. Flora was disguised as a tailor. She and Perdita were nibbling on some honey cakes while they watched a performer juggle fire. All was fun and frivolity until...
Make way for the king!
Everyone bowed. The king never came down from his castle for festivals. What was he doing here? Perdita's parents came forward. They had been part of the festival committee, so they welcomed the king.
Welcome, our great king. Silence!
The king's voice boomed out. Everyone was silent.
Daughter.
Why is the king looking at you, Flora?
Perdita asked, but Flora shook her head sadly and took off her tailor's hat and addressed her father.
Hi, Dad. You're a princess, Flora? I'm sorry I didn't tell you, Perdita. I was worried you'd treat me differently. Father, I was spending time with my friend. It's the Harvest Festival. Won't you join us?
But the king was not the kind of man who liked fun.
Princess Flora, return to the castle at once. You are never to see these people again. You are a princess. You must not leave the castle, and you especially must not spend time with commoners.
Perdita was getting mad, hearing the king talk down to all the people she loved. Maybe we are commoners, but at least we have manners, your majesty. And you shouldn't lock up your daughter. She should be free to go where she pleases. She should meet the people of her kingdom. And so should you.
You dare speak to me, girl?
I dare do all for my friend. Perdita, thank you. Flora flashed her big grin at Perdita, then whispered in her ear. My friend, meet me in the field tonight after dark. I need your help to plan my escape. And with that, Flora hopped onto a horse and rode off with her father and his soldiers. Perdita knew what she needed to do. She loved her family and loved living in Bohemia. But if her best friend Flora was going to escape, then she would help her. Flora was a mere prisoner in her father's castle, but with Perdita's help, she could be free. Perdita thought the best plan would be for the two of them to leave Bohemia, but she wanted to talk to her parents about what she should do.
We have cared for you these 16 years and taught you everything we know. And now your dearest friend needs you. Needs you more than we do, dear Perdita. It's time you had some adventures of your own, dear daughter.
And so, with her parents' blessing, Perdita ran to the field as soon as darkness fell, and met Flora, who was waiting there disguised as a sailor. Why didn't you tell me who you really were? I was worried you would treat me differently, but tonight, the way you stood up for me to my father, the king, well, I knew then you were a true friend. Thank you, Perdita. Of course, Flora. But there's nowhere we can go in Bohemia to escape your father. He's the king. He can find us anywhere. I can't ask you to leave your family, though. I already talked to them, and they gave their blessing. I think we should go to Sicily. I hear it's nice this time of year. Perdita, you are the greatest friend a princess could have. I'll get us passage on a boat to Sicily. Come on. The girls raced to the port and hurried aboard a boat bound for Sicily. Remember that someone in our story is the daughter of the Queen of Sicily? Aha! Bet we'll find out more about that. Flora and Perdita relished their sea crossing. They made good sailors, and the captain offered them jobs. But his ship often travelled to Bohemia, where they could no longer go. So Flora and Perdita hopped off in Sicily. They waved goodbye to their new friends on the ship, excited to see what adventures awaited in Sicily. But no sooner had the ship disappeared on the horizon than a group of soldiers surrounded them.
Seize them!
Flora and Perdita were sure the king of Bohemia had somehow found them. Perdita shielded Flora. Stop! Place a hand upon either of us and you will answer to my fists, Perdita shouted. To Flora and Perdita's surprise, the soldiers backed away.
Your Majesty, is that?
You look just like...
Never mind all that, men. Young ladies, all visitors who come to Sicily must stand before the Queen. It is law. You must come with us, if you please.
Flora and Perdita wondered why the soldiers seemed so careful. They gave each girl a horse and let them set the pace as they all made their way to the castle. Flora thought about making a run for it. She and Perdita might be able to gallop away. But as if Perdita sensed her thoughts, she shook her head at her friend. Let's see what this is all about. If we're going to stay in Sicily, we may need the Queen on our side. That's wise, Perdita. If I ever rule Bohemia, I'll need you as an advisor. You can pay me in sheep. When they reached the castle of the Queen of Sicily, they got off their borrowed horses and followed a soldier to the throne room. There, the Queen of Sicily stood, talking with her advisors and examining some maps. Flora cleared her throat. Your Majesty, we have been brought from port. As I understand, all visitors must pay you this same, visit. 2 headstrong girls arrive in my queendom just as word reaches me that the Princess of Bohemia has stolen away with a shepherdess. Not all visitors fit the description of escaped royalty. Well, that's most certainly a strange coincidence, Your Majesty. We are but a sailor and a shepherd. 2 sailors, as you can see from our clothes. Do you think me a fool? I am the shepherdess, and this is Princess Flora. Your Majesty, we have done no wrong in coming to Sicily. We have harmed no one. Princess Flora's father keeps her trapped in his castle. You are a queen. You must know how important it is for a girl to have freedom. Freedom to go on adventures, meet people, and make friends. Please, Your Majesty, let us stay. If you will not, I will fight every guard and soldier who stands in our way until we're free, and we'll run further than you or the King of Bohemia can reach." All through her speech, the queen quietly looked at Perdita. She peered at her face. Eventually, she came over and took Perdita's hand. "Child, who are you?" "Your Majesty, she is my friend, a humble shepherdess, good and kind and true." "What of your parents, girl?" "I was adopted by 2 shepherds in Bohemia. They found me in a field." "Found you?" "I was wrapped in a red and yellow cloth inside a wicker basket. My parents say I didn't even cry. They fed me on sheep's milk and I grew strong. They taught me all they know." Perdita began to look closely at the queen. She noticed how very much their eyes and noses looked alike. They were the same height and had the same color hair. The queen put her hand on her heart. Her advisors raced to bring her a chair, but she stormed past them. "A red and yellow cloth. Did it look like this?" The queen pulled a red and yellow Sicilian flag off the wall and brought it to Perdita. "Why, yes, it was just like this." "How?" "Child, what did the shepherds name you?" "They found a name inscribed on my basket and kept that name for me. I'm called Perdita." "Oh, my heart! I know you do not know me, Perdita, but I have searched for you these 16 years, and now that I have found you, the joy in my heart knows no bounds." The queen proceeded to explain to Perdita and Flora how, as a baby, Perdita had been kidnapped. The queen had personally searched 80 kingdoms looking for her daughter, and now her lost child had found her way home. Flora was amazed. Her best friend was also a princess. As Princess Flora, Princess Perdita, and the Queen sat down to eat cannolis and drink coffee, trumpets suddenly sounded.
Your Majesty, the King of Bohemia is here.
Flora's father, the king, came striding in. "Greetings, Geoffrey."
Hello, Louisa. I have come to see my daughter.
"Father,
Before you say anything, my dear Flora, I owe you an apology.
Oh,
Please, allow me. I was wrong. I kept you confined in the castle to try to protect you, but I see now that would only ever drive you away. Your friend, although she is a mere shepherdess, is brave. She stood up to me, and she has my respect. Henceforth you should be friends. But please, return to me in Bohemia. I vow that you shall have freedom, and your shepherdess friend will be welcome anywhere in Bohemia, including the castle. Just come home. I miss you terribly."
I'm afraid, Geoffrey, that this shepherdess is not quite so common, and I imagine we're going to be having a lot more royal visits for the sake of our dear girls.
Our girls? What do you mean?
And so, Princess Flora and Princess Perdita travelled together from Bohemia to Sicily and back again, visiting their royal parents and Perdita's shepherd parents as well. In Sicily, there was a feast in honour of Perdita's return, and the queen greeted Perdita's sheep farmer parents with gifts and honour. In Bohemia, the winter festival was held at the castle, and all the people of Bohemia were invited. Over the years, Princess Flora and Princess Perdita had many, many adventures together. But those are stories for another time. The end.
Hi, Ishbel.
Spittle, skimple, dinks. It's Miss Rebecca. Miss Rebecca. Confound it, I've forgotten my drain snake. Got to run back home and get it, then I'll pop back in on Tuesday. See you later, Miss Rebecca.
Ishbel? Oh, look, there is something on the recorder. I wonder what it could be. That was The Secret Princesses, written, performed, and produced by Tessa Flannery. Performed and executive produced by Rebecca Cunningham. Grownups, thanks for listening to Girl Tales with your Tailblazers. Before you go, here are some questions to help keep the conversation going with your child. What part of today's story did you enjoy the most, and why? Did you connect with a character in this story? Did you learn something new? How did you feel about this story? Did it remind you of something in your own life? We hope this sparks some fun and meaningful conversations. Girl Tales is a Cordelia Studios production. Grownups, you can get access to ad-free episodes of Girl Tales, as well as a range of other shows for the kids in your life by subscribing to Starglow Plus on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to hear me narrate the original stories of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, or Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, head to patreon.com/girltales and join Team Sunnybrook or above. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, if you loved this story, share it with a friend. Oh, and remember, I believe in you.
There's a hill and a road and a path where I know you must go. Through the sun, wind, rain, or snow. But wherever you venture, you can always come home. 'Cause I trust your heart, I trust my heart, and I trust your mind, I trust my mind, and I trust the friends, I trust the friends I know you will find o'er the hill and on the road. So off you go. And remember, I believe